Ethereum, it's getting the big looks from here, there, basically everywhere as the protocol transitions into a new horizon with a parallel blockchain architecture. So are you ready to dive into my own parallel universe to break it all down? Well, you don't have a choice because it's time for Chico Crypto. Ethereum parallel chains, well, one is a proof-of-stake beacon chain and the other is the main for now proof-of-work chain. And that means Ether, the asset used to secure both of these chains, is getting double the looks on all sides too. Retail, institutional, and even from genius developers outside of crypto. So retail looks, well, a good place to look for this is with Google Trends, and we'll compare Ethereum with Bitcoin. First, Bitcoin. During the last recent 20K test, BTC got to just 19% of its search hype compared with the last peak, December 2017. Ethereum, on the other hand, got to 30% of that level that same week. Ethereum hype is getting hotter faster with people around the globe compared with Bitcoin. How about institutional? Well, Raoul Pal, legendary hedge fund investor, tweeted this: "My hunch is BTC is a perfect collateral layer, but ETH might be bigger in market cap terms in 10 years for the reasons above. Money and collateral is just the base layer. Everything builds on top. The store of value is collateral. The trust layer and exchange of value is bigger." And I think that's true too, and it's some pretty big words from a big guy. But if you look deep enough, it's a common theme, not only inside of institutional, but developers too. As Ethereum is known and has been worked on by some pretty legendary developers. George Hotz, who is he and what happened? Well, he is a coding prodigy. 2007, the first person to remove SimLock and jailbreak the iPhone. And then in 2009, doing the same to the PS3 online network. And now George is competing with none other than Elon Musk in AI and self-driving tech with the company Comma.ai. And actually in 2016, George and Musk met together, with George reporting Musk offering him a pretty lucrative job heading the development task of automated driving at Tesla. So what about George and Ethereum? Well, he actually helped the Optimism team with their OVM compiler, and not even that long ago, as seen from his GitHub commits in July. And this might lead to another video about Ethereum scaling, but obviously George is bullish if he's helping with L2. And like I said, a common theme and crazy bullish. So Ether, what are the options right now with the stack sitting in people's wallets? Stake or DeFi? How do you get more and what's the most efficient way? Stake or mine? Well, hopefully I can provide some insights to those questions with this video. So let's look at staking returns first, and we go to beaconchain.in in their staking leaderboard. We can see validator income since the beginning of the Beacon chain on December 1st. We don't have data for the year or even the month, so we are just going to use the most recent data, 1 day. Taking the average of the top earning validator of the past 1 day and the bottom earning, 0.0149 plus 0.0181, and divided by 2, we get an average of 0.0165. That multiplied by 365 days in a year, we get just over 6.02 Ethereum, turning the stake stack to 38.02 Ethereum, an 18.8% ROI for setting that Ethereum away to stake. Now I know that ROI API will decline as more stakers come online. That is early remembers. Remember I said early birds get the worm. But still, projections are pretty damn good a year out. EthereumPrice.org's ETH2 calculator puts at 1 year, if you hold your stake, growth will be about 4.04 ETH, increasing your stake stack to 36.04, a yearly ROI of 12.63%. So the big question is, can DeFi provide better options than staking? Well, with things on the surface, not so much right now. Going to something like Compound, a popular, well-known lending and borrowing DeFi tool, the supply APY is only 0.06%. And the borrow is 2.3%. Shoot, if staking rewards on the Beacon chain were unlocked, there would be a huge borrowing opportunity on Compound to go stake and earn that higher ROI. But those rewards are tied up for now. And then going to DeFi Rate and their nice little tool, we can see that nothing is beating Ethereum staking right now on the surface, providing better returns, even something fully centralized like BlockFi. So to get better returns, you would have to get pretty damn DeFi creative if you would like to see above 10% APY on your Ethereum in DeFi. And it's possible with some of the yield farming opportunities out there. A good tool for this is the good old CoinGecko. And as we can see with pools with wrapped ETH, there are actually many providing higher APYs. Mostly from that crap Sushi Swap, but there are some from Harvest Finance, Index Cooperative, and Ampleforth too that use ETH as collateral. Although here's the thing with these pools, you also need to have an equal amount of the other token in the pool. For example, Index's wrapped ETH DPI pool, which is providing over 28% APY. You need equal part Ethereum, equal part DPI for that pool to enter it and earn, which means depending on your circumstances, you have to sell some Ethereum you already have, risking your safety asset to get the DPI, or you have to buy the DPI with cash. And another thing, the Ethereum Beacon Chain has been in the works for a long time and has had code review after code review. Many of these DeFi protocols haven't, and there may be bugs just waiting to be exploited. Thus, the risk with yield farming is much higher than solo staking, especially with inexperienced teams working with code forks. Be careful if DeFi is the path you choose. Now finally, let's talk about the creation of new Ether, as we have only been discussing what to do with the stacks of already created Ethereum sitting in people's wallets. Prior to the launch of staking and the Beacon Chain, the only way to get the precious new Ether was through proof of work mining. The Beacon Chain now offers you the option to use your Ether as collateral to get new emission, but the proof of work chain will be running in parallel to the Beacon Chain, running all the smart contracts, thus getting all the transaction fees until the Beacon Chain is ready. And when that will happen, no one knows. So the question is, what's more profitable, Ethereum staking or Ethereum proof of work mining? Early staking is providing over 18% APY, with some estimates putting it above 12% even as more stakers come online. So what does mining look like? Well, as everybody knows, new GPUs hit the scenes here recently from the big players, and I guarantee you PC gamers are hating miners right now as they are swooping them up. NVIDIA and AMD released their next generation models. NVIDIA the RTX 3000 series and AMD the RX 6000 series. And they are both beasts for PC gaming applications and mining. The most powerful for NVIDIA is the 3090, which clocks out at 153 megahashes per second and only uses 350 watts of power. AMD's most powerful is the RX 6900 XT, and this uses less power, only 300 watts, but can only pump out a max hash rate of 72 megahashes. And guess what? NiceHash already has a calculator comparing the two, and using an average electricity rate of 12 cents per kilowatt hour, we can see that NVIDIA 3090 is providing a better return per day of $4.23. Not bad, that's over $1,500 per year. But you have to think about the initial investment into the GPUs for the mining. And the 3090 has a hefty price tag of $1,500. So 1 year into mining, there would be no profit and you would only break even. Although the same goes with staking, you do have to invest into 32 Ethereum to begin even solo staking. And that's a seriously hefty price tag of nearly $19,000. So if all things stayed the same, Ether price and the current staking rewards, etc., it would take 2,600 days to get that investment back, or over 7 years. But here's the difference between Ethereum staking and GPU mining. Ether as a validator can be thought as the GPU miner for the proof-of-stake networks. It's the hardware that secures the network, and it gets the rewards. The difference is Ether is an appreciating asset, while GPUs are a depreciating asset. GPUs lose value over time. You always have to sell them for less than what you bought them for. And then you may be able not even to sell them for a dime, as the fate of the Ethereum chain as proof of work only has 2 years at max, and Ether, the asset, has proved since its birth to gain value. Things never stay the same. But I do have to mention that there may still be a way to make some money in those next 1 to 2 years with proof of work Ethereum mining, with specialized machines made for the ETH algorithm. Going to ASICminervalue.com, we can see there are 8 ETH machines, with 4 from InnoSilicon, providing between $25 to $15 per day. Tasty, but how expensive are the machines? Well, the top machine, A10 Pro Plus, isn't out for consumers yet, but the A10 Pro is, and it provides a whopping 500 megahashes per second at 750 watts, which means profits of $17.83 per day. That's over $6,500 per year. So how much does the machine cost? About $4,400 with shipping. So that means if all things stay the same, break even is under a year after about only 8 months, and then you're into the profit, and it's $2,100 for the entire year. Considering the machine is still a valuable asset, you can get rid of it after a year to someone for, let's say, $3,700. That's still an APY of over 31%. But the time is running out for these machines. They're specialized for the ETH algo, and when Ethereum moves fully to proof of stake, sometime between a year or 2, you don't want to be stuck having to mine only Ethereum Classic, do ya? Or do ya? Cheers, I'll see you next time.